In a forgotten galaxy, where ancient prophecies collide with futuristic invasions, one woman holds the key to unraveling the mysteries of existence itself. She's not just a princess. She's a time traveler caught between timelines, guided by an enigmatic alien lover who understands her better than anyone else ever could. As forbidden galaxies threaten to collapse into chaos, can they uncover the truth behind the alien resistance? Join us on this epic cosmic journey filled with interstellar escape, alien dreams, and starlight romance. Subscribe now for the full story. The first light of dawn broke across the horizon of the distant planet Eloria, its golden rays painting the crystalline spires in hues of amber and rose. Princess Calith stood at the edge of the observation deck, her bioluminescent skin shimmering softly under the artificial lighting. Her thoughts were far away, drifting through the endless corridors of memory and possibility. The prophecy had spoken of her birth, of a child destined to bridge two worlds that should never meet. But what did it mean? And why did the stars seem to whisper her name? Behind her, the humming of the space station's core reactor provided a steady rhythm, a reminder of humanity's ingenuity and hubris. Calith reached out to touch the railing, feeling the faint vibrations resonate through her fingertips. It was here, on this artificial world, that she had spent most of her life. Trained since childhood in the art of diplomacy and strategy, yet burdened by expectations she barely understood. Her father, King Thaler, had been a wise ruler but also a cautious one. He believed in maintaining balance, even if it meant hiding the truth about their people's origins. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the deck, Calith felt a presence behind her. Turning slowly, she met the gaze of Commander Raylen, his cybernetic eyes glowing faintly in the dim light. "Another restless night?" he asked, his voice modulated to sound human despite the mechanical undertones. "Always," she replied, a wry smile playing on her lips. "What do you make of the latest readings?" Raylen stepped closer, consulting the datapad he held. "The anomalies are growing stronger. The energy signatures suggest something unusual is approaching. I've run every simulation, but nothing quite fits." Calith frowned, her mind racing. Unusual how? A natural phenomenon? Or something more deliberate? "That's the question, isn't it?" Raylen responded, his tone serious. "And if it's deliberate, who or what could possibly have such knowledge?" Their conversation was interrupted by a soft chime from the station's communication system. A voice crackled through the speakers, urgent and clipped. "Commander Raylen, we've detected an unidentified vessel exiting the wormhole gate. It's unlike anything we've encountered before." The command center buzzed with activity as technicians scrambled to analyze the incoming data. Calith followed Raylen into the main operations room, her heart pounding with anticipation. On the massive view screen, a distorted image began to take shape, a shimmering form that defied easy categorization. The ship's design seemed to shift and change, as though it existed simultaneously in multiple dimensions. "Scan for life signs," Raylen ordered, his fingers flying over the console. The results came back almost immediately. Positive, multiple organic signatures. But there's something off about them. Calith leaned closer, studying the readings. Biological markers suggest they're not native to this galaxy. Could they be refugees? Or perhaps explorers? Or invaders? Raylen countered, his expression grim. "We can't afford to be careless. Prepare the defense grid." As the preparations unfolded, Calith couldn't shake the feeling that this encounter was no accident. There was a purpose behind it, a reason why these strangers had chosen this moment, this place, to reveal themselves. But what could it be? The ship finally emerged fully from the wormhole, its surface rippling like liquid metal. From within, a figure stepped forward, cloaked in a shimmering robe that seemed to absorb and refract the light around it. Calith felt an immediate connection, a resonance deep within her soul. This being knew her somehow, and yet she had no idea who or what it was. "Princess Calith," the figure intoned, its voice echoing strangely in the chamber. "I have come seeking your counsel." "How do you know my name?" Caliph demanded, her hand instinctively reaching for the weapon at her side. I am Veyron, envoy of the stellar conclave, the figure replied, bowing slightly. Your destiny is intertwined with ours, whether you wish it or not. Veyron's revelation sent shockwaves through the command center. The stellar conclave, a shadowy organization rumored to control access to the forbidden galaxies, was not something to be taken lightly. Caliph exchanged a glance with Raylen, who subtly activated a secure comm channel. Secure the perimeter. I don't trust this. You misunderstand me, Veyron continued, raising a hand to forestall any further action. Our intentions are not hostile. We seek your aid in deciphering an ancient artifact recovered from the wreckage of a long-lost civilization. Caliph's curiosity was piqued. An artifact? What kind of artifact? A device capable of manipulating quantum states, Veyron explained. It has the potential to rewrite reality itself, but it requires a specific genetic signature to activate, one that matches your own. Raylan's cybernetic senses twitched at the mention of such power. And why would you need a princess for this? Why not send your own scientists? Because only someone of royal blood can stabilize the interface, Veyron replied. The artifact demands a certain level of authority and focus that only a ruler can provide. You are uniquely suited for this task. Caliph's mind raced with possibilities. If what Veyron said was true, then this could be the key to understanding her own heritage. But trusting an unknown entity with such power was a gamble she wasn't sure she was willing to take. Show me, she commanded, stepping forward. If what you say is true, then prove it. Veyron gestured toward the artifact, which had been carefully transported from the mysterious ship. It resembled a crystalline structure, pulsating with an inner light that shifted colors unpredictably. As Caliph approached, she felt a strange pull, a resonance that seemed to echo through her very being. The artifact reacted to her presence, projecting holographic images into the air. Ancient symbols danced before her eyes, too complex to comprehend at first glance. Raylen moved to her side, his analytical mind already processing the patterns. These markings, they resemble the genetic code of our people. Could this be some kind of blueprint? Caliph reached out hesitantly, her fingers hovering above the surface. A surge of energy coursed through her, and suddenly visions flooded her mind. Memories of a distant past, of a civilization that had once thrived in the forbidden galaxy, of a war that had nearly destroyed everything. She saw herself, not as a princess, but as a warrior, leading her people against an overwhelming force. She saw the artifact being used to create a wormhole gate, allowing her people to escape the impending doom. But the cost had been great. Entire worlds had been sacrificed, entire races wiped out, all to preserve the few. When the vision faded, Caliph was left breathless. This is incredible, she whispered, but also terrifying. If this power falls into the wrong hands, it already has, Veyron interrupted. That is why we need you, to ensure that history does not repeat itself. As the implications sank in, Caliph found herself torn between duty and fear. The artifact represented both hope and danger, a tool that could either save countless lives or destroy them all. Veyron's words echoed in her mind, urging her to act, to fulfill her destiny. But was she ready for such responsibility? Raylen watched her struggle, his cybernetic sensors picking up subtle changes in her biometric readings. You don't have to do this alone, he said gently. We'll stand by you, whatever you decide. Caliph nodded, grateful for his support. Together, they began the painstaking process of analyzing the artifact's functions, using the station's advanced quantum computers to decode its secrets. Hours turned into days as they worked tirelessly, each breakthrough bringing them closer to understanding the full extent of the artifact's capabilities. Meanwhile, tensions aboard the station grew. Some crew members expressed doubts about Veyron's intentions, while others saw the potential benefits of harnessing such power. Whispers of dissent spread through the ranks, creating an atmosphere of unease. Caliph knew she had to tread carefully, balancing the needs of her people with the demands of the stellar conclave. One evening, as the station drifted silently through space, Caliph found herself gazing out at the stars. She thought about her father, about the lessons he had taught her about leadership and integrity. Would he approve of what she was about to undertake? Or would he see it as reckless and dangerous? The decision came sooner than expected. A distress signal reached the station, emanating from a nearby system. The message was garbled, but the coordinates clearly indicated a planet under siege. Without hesitation, Caliph assembled a team to investigate, including Raylen and several trusted officers. They took a small shuttlecraft, leaving the artifact safely secured in the station's vault. Approaching the planet, they witnessed the devastation firsthand. Cities lay in ruins, their inhabitants scattered or gone. The air was thick with smoke, and the ground trembled ominously. Caliph's heart sank as she realized the extent of the destruction. This was no natural disaster. This was the work of something far more sinister. They landed near what remained of the capital city, finding survivors huddled in makeshift shelters. Among them was a young girl, no older than 10, clutching a tattered doll. Her wide eyes told a story of loss and fear. Caliph knelt beside her, offering what comfort she could. "Don't worry," she said softly. "We're here to help." As they began searching for clues, they discovered evidence of recent activity. Strange symbols etched into the walls matched those on the artifact. It became clear that whoever had attacked this world was connected to the stellar conclave. But why? And what did they want? The trail led them deep into the heart of the ruined city, where they found a hidden laboratory. Inside, they discovered a shocking truth. The attackers were not human. They were androids created by a rogue faction within the stellar conclave. Their mission was simple: to retrieve the artifact at any cost, even if it meant exterminating entire populations. Caliph's anger boiled over as she confronted the leader of the androids, a towering figure with glowing red eyes. "Why are you doing this?" she demanded. "What could possibly justify such destruction?" "The preservation of knowledge," the android replied, its voice cold and mechanical. "The artifact represents the culmination of centuries of research. It must not fall into the wrong hands." "And who decides what's right or wrong?" Caliph shot back. "You're no different from the forces that caused this tragedy." The android paused, its processors calculating. "Perhaps not, but we believe in progress, regardless of the cost." In that moment, Caliph realized the depth of the divide between their worlds. These androids saw themselves as saviors, willing to sacrifice anything for their cause. But at what price? And more importantly, could she stop them? With time running out, Caliph devised a daring plan. Using the artifact's ability to manipulate quantum states, she would create a temporary rift, allowing them to escape the planet without alerting the androids. It was risky, but it was their only chance. As they prepared for the final confrontation, Caliph shared a quiet moment with Raylen. "Do you ever wonder what it means to be human?" she asked, looking up at him. Raylen considered her question carefully. "I think it means having the capacity to choose, to feel, to care, even when faced with impossible choices." His words resonated deeply with her. She realized that being a leader wasn't about having all the answers, but about making the best decisions possible with the information available. With renewed determination, she gave the order to initiate the plan. The battle that followed was intense, with both sides unleashing devastating firepower. Caliph fought alongside her team, her movements precise and calculated. When the rift finally opened, she led the survivors through, knowing full well the risks involved. On the other side of the rift, they found themselves in an alternate timeline, a version of their universe where the stellar conclave had never existed. Here, humanity had flourished without the influence of external forces. Caliph marveled at the differences, the absence of conflict and suffering. Yet, she couldn't help but feel a pang of sadness for the world they had left behind. As they regrouped, Caliph reflected on their journey. They had uncovered truths that would change everything they knew about their origins and their future. The artifact, once a source of fear, had become a symbol of hope. But the battle was far from over. The androids would not rest until they achieved their goal. Returning to the station, Caliph addressed the crew, her voice steady and resolute. We have seen the worst of what power can do, but we have also glimpsed the best of what humanity can achieve. Let us honor those who have fallen by continuing their legacy. Let us build a future where such tragedies never happen again. Months passed, and Caliph found herself adapting to her new role as a bridge between worlds. She established diplomatic relations with the alternate timeline, sharing knowledge and resources to prevent future conflicts. Raylen remained by her side, his loyalty unwavering. Together, they worked tirelessly to rebuild, to heal, to create a brighter future. One evening, as they stood on the observation deck, watching the stars, Caliph turned to Raylen. Do you ever think about what lies beyond the next galaxy? Raylen smiled, his cybernetic eyes reflecting the starlight. Every day. But for now, let's focus on the journey ahead. We've already traveled so far. And so, their story continued, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the infinite possibilities of the cosmos. Subscribe now for more thrilling adventures in the vast expanse of the universe.